Welcome, everyone, to the Holstein House podcast. I'm the West Virginia woman, Robin, of RobinHolstein.com and Holstein House, where my guests get a great night's sleep at a fair rate plus breakfast. This is a podcast that looks at society and culture issues affecting families in West Virginia and the United States, from food preparation and storage, gardening, home repairs, current events, and more. We'll go around the table and back in 60 minutes or less. So let's hang out and talk a while. We'll get into NOSTR in just a little bit, but there's one particular person who's been struggling with NOSTR, and over in some of the Telegram groups, we've been trying to help him out. He's a West Coast type. I think Pacific Northwest is technically it, and so he's been struggling with this, and I've copied and pasted his public key 1,000 times, and trying to reload and trying to get it to come up. And some of the folks can see him on NOSTR. I've not been able to, and I ended up I didn't get my YouTube link copied right. So when I went over in one of the Telegram groups. Okay, she's, let me move this back away. Hopefully it's not been too bad. When I went over to the Telegram group and tried to post the link to the YouTube for this morning's live, it didn't work. And I looked and I thought, what in the world? What I did was, announcements. Is that where he wants? This group is not accessible. Darn it, Josh! You closed that one. Share your pub keys here. Meeting of the minds. So where's your general? You don't have a general. Anyway, so I ended up copying and pasting the guy's public key for NOSTR under my I'm going live in 10 seconds post. And so I'm like, what? Oh, darn it. Well, let's see. Let me do this. I don't like to hijack people's stuff. I'm not going to post it there. There's some Telegram groups that I don't mind posting the live link to, because I feel like that they're okay with it. But there's some that I just feel like I'm kind of hijacking it, and I don't want to do that. So, Lighting for Liberty, pin message. Maybe that's just. No, that's not the one I want. No, that's not the one I want. Okay, well, anyway, you guys, good morning. How far am I in? Where's my 6 minutes in? And I haven't really gotten to things. So, yeah, all those Afro the Mix types out there are going to be upset with me this morning. Good morning, Ronaldo. You catch it up. There's not going to be a whole lot of excitement on this today, really. I'll be surprised if I have enough to go for the full hour, but you please do catch the recording. So and share it. Let people know. Let some of your friends down there know there's this weird woman in West Virginia, USA that has a mediocre YouTube channel. Oh gosh. So look, I'm gonna brag about this again. I have to. There you go. Jack Dorsey. And I finally found out. I had to flat out ask. there are some things that I know and some things and a lot of things that I don't. And back when computers were starting up, I was really excited and I got involved. But I was always excited and involved with the software, not development, not behind the scenes coding. Coding just was never my thing. I can code just enough HTML to go behind the scenes and tweak a little bit here and there, change a color. I know, to look what to look for to make color changes, change images. I have a little bit of behind the scenes, but my thing was always the software, word processing, Excel, spreadsheet types a little bit. I got it. I took a class on it way back, and kind of associated it with algebra because you're taking this plus this over here, and parentheses and plus signs and all that stuff, and summing it up and dividing it out and all that. And so I can do a little bit with spreadsheets. I don't do a bunch. There are some folks out there that can just make a spreadsheet cry, and it's not me. It's not me. So, but word processing, some in desktop publishing, because that's very similar to word processing, but it's just a layout, and layout and fonts and different things. So I love desktop publishing. I really loved it. I still do kind of. I don't love having to pay rent on the software these days. It used to be, kids, back in my day, you bought the software. And heck yes, it was expensive, but you owned it and you had a relative secure understanding that you would it would update from time to time, and that once you owned it, you owned it. Well, no, it's not like you don't go buy it anymore. You rent it, you subscribe to it, you pay for it every stinking year. And I despise that. And so I've fallen away from a lot of it. Yeah, there's a lot of open source software out there, and operating systems. I was never into open source operating systems. But a little bit with the open source software programs, but I've not been able to use them, and some of them are not secure enough for some of the stuff that I do. So it's neither here nor there. The point of that is, I get this Zap from Jack Dorsey when I started my NOSTR account. And I'm looking at it, and people are just like, oh my gosh, did you see this? Jack Dorsey, zaps her 1337. Oh my gosh, he's a celebrity and all this. And I know who Jack Dorsey is, and I was mildly amused by it. I mean, it was fun. I doubt that he actually saw me. I think it was during one of what they call a zapathon, where they developers are sending zaps as satoshis, and satoshis are the micro Bitcoin amounts. And I've got something buzzing at me. I think it's my phone, but I don't know where I laid it down. Oh yeah, there it is. So everybody, all of the geeky types were all excited about this, and I'm like, I don't get it. So a few days ago, I was watching the after hours after party thing on YouTube that some folks do, and they got to talking about these types of things, and that came up. And so I typed in there, honestly, I don't understand why you're so excited about it. And so Josh is big Renegade Butcher, and that's his YouTube channel and his social media persona. He finally tells me that 1337 is geek for leet, L-E-E-T, which is a numeric and backwards way of putting the word leet, and leet is short for elite. I thought, oh, I guess I should really be excited. I'm considered elite by Jack Dorsey because I got 1337 sats, but he needs to go back to school because that's not how you spell elite. So I'm just kind of going to milk this for as long as I can, Jack Dorsey of all people. He doesn't know me from Adam, wouldn't step foot in my yard, probably wouldn't step foot in my county. I invited him. He had a, not, well, it wasn't NOSTR. I mean, what I was looking at was, Snort Social, for NOSTR. And, he had put on there that they were looking for a place in Japan. I think it was somewhere in the Southeast, for, a conference that had to hold X amount of people. And, I said, come to West Virginia. We need the jobs. We need the work. Bring your industry to West Virginia. And I know he wasn't talking about anything that we could, that they want to do here. And he probably doesn't want to come to the United States anyway. I think he's on an island somewhere, which is fine. He can do that. I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't care. It's nice for him. I don't want to say must be nice because he earned his money. He did his thing. He thought something great and made a killing with it. Yay. I'm glad. Tickled to death for him, honestly. But he'll never know me. He'll never know me. He'd never spend a night in my B&B. I'd serve him corn mush and molasses. I would too. Because that's one of the things that I do. Well, I do for my direct book guests. But let me get rid of that. So what you guys on the audio didn't see was the screenshot from where Jack Dorsey sent me 1337 sats. Okay, let's see. Sorry for that. Silence again. Here we go, people. I'm all over the place this morning. There's really been some weird stuff going on. Let me try to get myself back on track. 15 minutes in, and I haven't even told you who you're listening to or anything. My gosh, I'm just really, really off my game this morning. Which is, do I even have a game? It seems like I'm always off my game. So this is the 54th episode of the Holstein House live. Tuesdays live and Fridays are live unscripted. But this is the 54th episode, and we do create a podcast out of this. I strip out the audio. So some of you guys are going to hear the 54th episode of the Holstein House podcast, and that's just really exciting and fun because, at 100, we're going to have to do another giveaway. I don't know what I'm going to give away, but we'll give away something. And I'm Robin Holstein, and in the intro for my podcasters, they hear me say this is a podcast that looks at society and culture issues affecting West Virginia and the United States, and really kind of sort of the world as far as some things go. From food preparation and storage to gardening, home repairs, current events, and more, we go round the table and back in 60 minutes or less. So let's hang out and talk a while. And sometimes we go over by a few minutes. I try not to go too far over an hour because I think an hour is a good amount of time, especially when there's not a whole lot going on. And while there is a whole lot going on, there's not a whole lot going on. The Holstein House podcast part premiered on Fountain FM, and we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, TuneIn, iHeartPlayer, Listen, and a few others. And if you're here, please thumbs up in YouTube and like in Facebook, and click the subscribe if you happen by and you haven't subscribed yet. Please do so that you'll get notified when we're coming live again and when there's new videos up. I'm hoping to get a few made this week. I haven't made any new food preparation or storage videos for a while. I've tried to do a couple little shorts I'm not real good with those. I'm just not really good with them. I need help with that kind of stuff, and I can't afford good help. And yet good help is hard to find. But thumbs up, please. Boost. If you are over on NOSTR in one of the clients over there, please zap at least a couple. At least zap a couple. I mean, you can afford a couple, can't you? Clip, subscribe, and share with all your friends and followers. Please, please. I'd love to hit some magic numbers. I'd love to hit 100 over on YouTube. I'm not even at 100 over on YouTube. It's crazy, insane. But the few that I have are very dedicated, and I do appreciate them very much. If you participate in the value for value exchange, and if I say anything at all that you find valuable, whether it makes you think, whether it makes you laugh, gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling, or makes you really mad, I hope you'll express that value with value in return. And let's see, what are we going to go on today? Oh, we'll start with what's going on here at home, just home generally. They've not had any offers for notary signing work that was within a reasonable drive. I'm getting offers for jobs that are 2-hour drives away, 4-hour drives away. I mean, it's insane. I have, with a lot of the signing companies, I do have listed the zip codes that I will work with and the rough area that I will drive as far as time and mileage. I mean, and these things, I don't know where they come from. There, I've got them wanting me to go to Wheeling. I've got them wanting me to go to Jefferson County. I've got them wanting me to go to Mingo County. These are just way too exceptional. I mean, and they're offering like $40 and $80 to make that trip. Lord have mercy. You know, if I was one of those fair wage people who seems to think that $15 minimum wage is acceptable, you wouldn't even be paying me minimum wage just in the time it takes me to drive from point A to point B. So it's kind of ridiculous. I had a couple of signings lined up. They locally, they fell through. Not anything that I did, but because the buyers and sellers needed different dates and times, and I wasn't available for those. So that's hurting me. So my income from that is really in the commode. It really is in the commode, and it's starting to hurt. It really is starting to hurt. I have just about gone through all of my reserves and my backups for that stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm not going to go bankrupt. I'm not going to, starve to death or anything like that. But the business is taking a big hit, and I mean, it's possible I may have to shutter the whole thing because I can't. I'm not bringing in enough to keep just the basic fees and insurances and things paid for. So I'm struggling. So as the economy, swings up and down, and buying and selling of property is taking hits and stuff, so am I. I do have, I mean, I could take lower rates, but I mean, we, in certain of the communities that I'm involved in, you don't cut your rate. There's some folks that say, if you can't afford me, move along, except they use worse language than that. And that's kind of where I am. So I'm going to have to up my game, or, well, I can't make people buy and sell property, but I'm going to have to come up with something else because this isn't working anymore. It seems to have run its course for me. There may be some other folks out there that can pick that up and go with it, but it may well be running the course for me. And I would hate to see that go. But I mean, it is what it is. I'll just have to deal with it. I still don't have my porch rails. Still very upset about that. I was at a box store yesterday that carries those type of things. I don't know I'm not the contractor. I don't know the details about the pieces and parts and things and sizes. I don't know. I'm just not happy at all with the porch rail situation. The rails need to be in and they need to be up. And I'm very, very close to just telling the contractor to give me my deposit back and I'll do something different. I don't know. I don't want wood. I don't want wood rails. I don't know. I don't know if it's a contractor thing, if he's just jerking my chain. You know, I like to think not, because he's always been a good contractor to me. I don't like to doubt him. But, contractors are human. Sometimes they mess things up. And I hope that's not it. Let's see. Hey, Dixon Way. How were you this morning? Glad to see you. I got off to a pretty crappy start on this one. I don't know if you were there checking it out when I first got on, hit live, but man, oh man, this has been a morning. And it's a shame too. It's one step forward, two steps back some weeks. That's crazy. You getting along all right? Are you tinkering around with NOSTR very much? I know some folks. I'm having problems with some of the clients. Like Snort gives me trouble. It was easy to get started over there, but it just doesn't want to cooperate. And then I have to use Damus on my phone, and I use Amethyst on my tablet. And it's like they don't all play good together. But then again, it's all new. I don't even think it's a year old yet, I don't think. So they got to work out all of the kinks. Maybe. It's hit and miss for me. I haven't spent a bunch of time with it yet. Yeah. Hang on a second. Sorry, I had a little coffee trying to go the wrong direction. I've spent a lot of time messing around with it, but it's I'm not the developer type. I was kind of talking about that at the beginning. I'm not a behind the scenes developer. So some of the newness of it's very frustrating for me too. Trying to get Scramlin's site. That is so frustrating to me, why I'm having trouble seeing him. Brian seems to see him fine. And I think Josh sees him fine, but I don't. I added a bunch of new relays this morning, actually just a few minutes ago. It's kind of what threw me off. I'm such a creature of habit. When I do something different, it throws me really off. And I was adding these relays before I got started here, and it threw me off in my routine of steps that I take to set this up and run it. And I just, I've done nothing but apologize for a half hour. So you guys, don't forget to say hello. I know there's a couple people out there. I've got a Facebook somebody looking, and they haven't said hello to me yet. You need to be saying hello, so I know you're out there. So, one of the things I was thinking about doing, I don't get, and I say don't get to, I'm not going to, go to the, SRF or any of those things, this year. I mean, it's possible I would next year. I'm not going to get all torqued up and let people shame me into going. They don't know my life. They don't know things. But I was thinking about for, oh, you got them? Oh, good. Man, that took a while to get them to you, didn't it? I sent those out like within a couple days. But I wonder if they had to have the dog sniff them for, explosives or something. Cocaine. Did they think I had cocaine in there or something? I don't know. I never thought about it. Hi, Carla. Good to see you. We got a plan. I've got your shirt. It came in yesterday. Your shirt came in. So we're going to have to plan a day to have lunch and then get your shirt and a couple of duck eggs for your daughter. See if she can tolerate them. I never dreamed it would take that long. I mean, I guess it's going across the border or something. I don't know. So I'm not going to go to Tennessee for the shows. I'm going to the type of things that I'm going to try to find are going to be things that I can go to and come back in a day. I don't care to go 2 days in a row, go up in the morning, come back in the evening. I'm fine with that, but I can't be gone that long. I can't leave the dogs that long. I'm not going to put them in a boarding facility. I can't leave the ducks and the chickens that long. I'm not going to have anybody trying to take care of them but me. That's where I'm at right now. And I'm not going to apologize for that. And I'm not going to be shamed about it. I need to find community around me close. I tried to reach out to, darn it, forgot his name. It was on Tim's show the other day. Anyway, he's from down around Huntington and Huntington, West Virginia, and he has the Appalachian Medical Resources or Appalachian Medical. What's the name of it? I can't remember. But I was trying to reach out to him on in the chat for Tim's show last night and didn't hear from him. I'd like to connect with him, and I'd like to get connected with people closer to me so that, communities is not 3 days. And I know it's fun, Dixon. I know that it's fun and it's a great adventure to make those trips, but not everyone can do that. And I know the create your own community. We all live in different areas, and you're not just, we do have to build it. We do have to build it, but we have to find the people to build it with. And when you can't remember their names, I've reached out to a couple people in Kentucky and asked them, do you know of folks around here? And the closest I got was a connection with a fella who has he does have a farm a couple hours south of me. He is still in West Virginia, but he doesn't live there. So I don't know if he rents it and just comes and goes or what they do, but it's he actually lives, I think, in Pennsylvania. He and his wife live out of state. So, and it's a little, Pennsylvania, it's a bit, when you start getting, even parts of West Virginia, for me to go to where WVU, West Virginia University is in Morgantown, is almost, depending on traffic, can be a 3.5, 4 hour drive. There are parts in the ski areas of West Virginia that can be a 4 hour drive for me. So if I'm trying to go 4 hours, I might as well go 8 because I'm going to be 4 hours up before the sun comes up to be there at sunup. And then it's going to be 4 hours back and then everything that's going on. So I might as well, go. So yeah, I'm not sure how we build that. I mean, I know how, I just don't know how to reach them. I haven't found them all. There's a fella with a YouTube channel called Red Tool House Road or Red Tool House. The actual road is Red Tool House Road. I know where the road is, Red Tool, but does he call it Homestead? I can't remember. I have to go look it up. But he's not far from me. I may reach out to them. And I used to have a lot of connections in the ag community, but when I was working for conservation and a conservation district supervisor, but they were all very suspicious of other people, kind of, they don't want people on their farm. They might let the USDA people on their farm, but that's because they're USDA people, not just some people. So I might try to reach back out to some of them. And when you're doing your own thing, you got to find somebody to come in and stay take care of your stuff. I don't want people taking care of my stuff. I have to shut down the B&B to do that. I have to close those dates so I lose that revenue. I'd have to pay somebody to stay here so I lose that revenue. It gets more expensive for me. You know, I don't have 6 kids at home. My dad's going to be 83. He's not able to take care of my chickens and the ducks. So that's it, Carla. Red Tool House Homestead. Yeah, I've been watching them a little bit here and there. I do need to reach out to him. I've got him followed, but I need to connect a little more. And you know, I'm not into the alcohol parties around the fire pit. I mean, I don't begrudge somebody a drink. I don't. That's on you. And I've been known to have a glass of wine or a drink here and there, but not. You know, I don't have a. Of course, I'm in the mornings. I'm not drinking mimosas on the show. Saying, "Oh, this isn't an Irish coffee. It's not even. It's not even a Jack Daniel's coffee." But so yeah, there's just some of that's not my thing. But you know, I just need to reach out to other people, I guess, or try to find it. There was a point. There was a point where a friend of mine, Bob Keller, he's not well, so it's hard for him. He was going to be on the show a few months ago. I was really excited, and then he messaged me and he says he's just not able. His health is so up one day, down the next. He just doesn't plan in advance, and he could be he has a survival. He has Keller Survival in Cross Lanes, West Virginia, and he started it in Charleston. And I was one of his first customers there, and tried to support him a lot and as best I could. Many great conversations are held around a campfire until about drink 3. Then it's time to vacate. Yeah, and depending, it could be depending on who's mixing. Drink 1.5. Yeah, and then do you remember everything the next morning? You know, how wore out are you the next morning? And I enjoy putting on stuff like that. I mean, I enjoy setting up meetings and stuff. I enjoy doing like at the church, our Bible study. I really enjoy putting that together, and having it. And I don't mind. It is a lot of work. You have to think things through. You have to have plan B, C, and D. You know, if the electric goes off, what are you going to do? If the HVAC goes down, what are you going to do? You may cancel one. Well, in our case, we could cancel one because we weren't meeting every day or every hour. But then, okay, this isn't going to work. We got to move it. Where are we going to move it to? So yeah, and you know, there's a lot to it. I'm not opposed to it. I just have to figure out where to start. I tried reaching out. What is his name? I can't think of his name. Maybe I can. Oh, excuse me. Now I'm going to have hiccups. So then you have to have a backup plan for hiccups. I don't know if I can find when you use StreamYard, sometimes the comments don't carry over to your YouTube videos. So I'm going to feel like an idiot when I see his name, because it's going to be like, that's it. No, that's last week's. Why can't I find it? It was in. He was part of. He just commented real quick, and then. Evan, do you know what his name is? The guy from Appalachian Medical something. He does the. It's the after the first aid. How to deal with wound care and stuff after the initial incident. I can see it in my mind's eye, but I just can't. I don't know. I think do I follow his? Chuck Peoples, that's it. Yes, Chuck Peoples. I was trying to find it. I put in the comments of Tim's show last night, Chuck Peoples, I want to connect with you. And I didn't hear from him. So not like he's got to, but I kind of thought maybe he'd say, okay. And he didn't say it. So yeah, because he actually isn't very far from me. He's an hour, depending on actually where exactly he's at. He's an hour and half an hour, something like that from me. So yeah, I think that would be a great place to start, would be to reach out to him, because I know he's getting more involved with Tim, and he's getting involved with SRF and all that stuff, and all the folks associated with that. So he may have been connected with more people from the West Virginia, Kentucky, and even parts of Ohio, some parts of Ohio in within about a 50-mile radius of me. 50 is probably good. That's about an hour's drive. So if we were doing something and we had about an hour's drive, that'd probably be okay for people who can't take the whole day off to go somewhere. So if you figure, let's just say right now the sun is up enough that I can be out with the chickens at 7. I put it off a little bit usually because I'm listening to Brian there, and suddenly there's Chuck on darn it, there it is right there on Tim's. I would have Tim's YouTube over here, and it just scrolled and popped that up. See, they're listening to me. But I usually listen to Lot's Project in the morning, and sometimes I'll get on there and banter back and forth a little bit. But at 7 o'clock right now in the morning, I'm going out, checking their water, changing their water, adding their water, feeding them, and all that stuff. I make my chickens although they do free range, I make them stay in of the mornings, and then I bring them in a couple hours before sundown, for predator reasons, and because I want to make sure they're getting enough nutrition, and so they've got the feed and extra protein and stuff out in the mornings, and then they can spend the rest of the day out in the yard. Then I need to be back right now. 8 o'clock is about the time the doors come down on the coop. So we're looking almost 12 hours of daylight. So you're figuring if it were me and I was traveling to an event, it's going to have to be after 9 o'clock. So by 9 o'clock, I've got them all taken care of. The dogs, cats, chickens, and ducks all taken care of. The husband's off to work, or if it's a weekend, he's up and we're all moving around. We've had our breakfast. And by 9 o'clock, we can hit the road, be somewhere at 10, let's say, spend 4 or 5 hours there and get back in time to do everything in reverse. Feed the dogs and the cats and the chickens and the ducks. Well, we're not feeding the chickens and ducks again, running them back into the run, closing that up so that they'll migrate themselves back into the coop. The predators don't get to them because they're in the run. Evening predators, I should say. And because there's always a possibility. Anyway, so an hour's drive is reasonable for us in our lifestyle and the things that we have going on. We actually, Mr. Holstein and I actually haven't had a proper vacation, if you want to call it that, in 6 years because of the chickens and the ducks. Before that, we were taking the dogs with us. Not these dogs, because the dogs we had then have passed away. But we took the dogs with us. So we were going to dog-friendly establishments, hotels and things where we could take them, places where we could take them and walk with them, take them on the trails and stuff. So that was okay. I don't like, because we take in rescues, I don't like to take them and board them, because I feel like they are, and I know their little brains don't work this way, but I feel that they may think they're being abandoned again. So I don't, because you can sit there and tell them all day long, I'll be back in a week. And they're like, I don't know what you're saying to me, but these cages look familiar. I've been locked up before. Oh my God, and then I just don't, I do project human emotions on my pets. So, it's just my thing. I don't like to do that, but I would like to, there has to be a way. There has to be a way that we can do this. And I don't know if there's a way that we can support each other in building these things up across, YouTube and Facebook and Telegram and that stuff. Like, what kind of topics are you going to have up there? Ooh, that sounds like a good one. I'll see if I can find somebody down here. I'd love to do that down here where we have similar setups, similar topics, and we're finding our own people, and we're sharing. Oh, I was able to find a guy to do this, and you were able to find a guy to do that. Oh, there's a blacksmith here in West Virginia that's going to talk about whatever blacksmiths are going to talk about. Making your own nails during the apocalypse. I don't know. Have you found anybody up there? I don't know. I don't know. I'm really way off. Really way off. We're 45 minutes in almost. But it is live unscripted, so there wasn't any hard and fast rules today. But so what started this SRF conversation was I started off by saying I won't be going, and it's not anything against them. It absolutely what I'm seeing online and the connection I'm having in Telegram and different things. These are brilliant people, excellent marketers, wonderful business persons. They've got great ideas. They're doing great things. And this is not a snub. This is not a snub. So I don't want it intended that way. That, it's just the lifestyle that I have. I won't be going down there. Like I said, maybe next year, but it won't be this year. But anyway, what I thought I would do for those who might be traveling through my part of West Virginia to get to that part of Tennessee is create a special package or a special promo code or something for folks who might want to stay here on the way down and on the way back. Because I know, sometimes especially if they're tent camping, maybe they don't want to stay at a hotel. I know them. We know them. I'm not going to stab them in their sleep. I think that's what Nicole said one time. You'd rather stay. She's not going to stay in somebody's house unless she knows them. You're less likely to get killed in your sleep or something. I don't know what she said. I don't tend to do that. I don't like fava beans. So, but I was thinking, I could host a couple tent campers if they wanted to, put their tents up in the yard at a reduced rate, and then. Or at a lesser rate, and then have somebody staying in the room. So then I could have breakfast for all of them, for a decent rate, maybe. But I was just wondering what the interest might be in that, and that brings me around to NOSTR. I was going to put a poll up, so I can do polls with Amethyst, which is like Snort, only different. And one of the best examples of how this all works is email. You have an email address, but you can use it on like a Gmail account. Let's say you have a Gmail account. You use Gmail. You can log into it from your computer. You can log into it from your from your tablet. You can log into it to your phone, or you can have it download to your phone. You can have it download through a client on your desktop so that you're not actually going into, Gmail through a browser. And it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same with NOSTR. NOSTR is a messaging and connectivity, social media type thing. And you use different clients. And for the iPhone, though, you use one called Damus, DAMUS. you use that. It's an iPhone app. We know what apps are. On my tablet is an Android, so I use Amethyst, the Amethyst app on that. Now, on my desktop, I'm logging into Snort as an ORT, which is a flip of the word NOSTR. So Snort is easy to set up, slick as a whistle, but you can't do polls on it. Damus is easy to put on my phone because it's just an app, but I can't do polls on it. Amethyst, however, I can do polls on it, but I don't always have that tablet with me. So I'm sitting here at the desktop and I'm logging into Snort and, or I'm opening it. I'm not technically logging in it because it's, well, anyway. And I thought, I'm going to do this poll. Would you like, would you consider, would you be interested in, and then, if you're going to SRF, swing by, come stay with me a little bit. I could probably, if the camper's in the yard, our camper, if it's in the yard, I could probably a couple families could tent camp, or couples or a couple people or whoever, a couple tents in the yard, and I can set up, an outdoor privy for the night, and you can, come in the house and shower and everybody have breakfast and stuff. In theory, I could set up our camper and let people borrow the camper, but we don't have a way to empty the tank easily, or have the kind of power in there to let you run like the air conditioning and stuff. So in theory, I could set that up. It was going to take some work. I don't know. I can't do that myself. I'd have to have somebody do it. Mr. Holstein could do it if he's off work long enough, if he agrees to it. He may not agree to it because I haven't bounced this idea off of him yet. But I still have the house. I still have the room. And, it's a thought. And if they wanted to use, sats and stuff and do it that way, I'm okay with that too. And we could work out a special arrangement, perhaps a special discount for people who want to pay using Bitcoin Satoshis and stuff. So it's a thought, but I wanted to put a poll out to do that, and then I got aggravated with, and then I had to go add some. It just gets crazy. I better get productive. Oh yes, you do that. It's easy to fall down these internet rabbit holes. Have a great day, and I will see you probably on the Telegram somewhere. So I'm thinking about a special SRF discount right now, and but I'm going to run a poll for that and see who might be interested. Now, I know not everyone's going to be coming in a direction that will bring them through West Virginia, but if you are, let's see what happens. Now, one thing I did want to share with you today specifically, and it's a shame that it's come so late, and don't forget to like and subscribe and zap and all those wonderful, wonderful things that we do in the Value for Value networking. I've had some my whole schedule for getting the chicks. I should have already had chicks 3-4 weeks ago. I should have had them. You should be able to hear them peeping in the background here. They should be almost ready to go outside. Well, that hasn't happened yet. But I'll tell you what has happened is my Khaki Campbell little girl has started brooding. I think I told you last week that I was going to leave some eggs, that she'd started hiding them, and I'd never known her to hide them before. And so she was hiding them, and I thought, I'm going to leave these alone and see what happens. So she's hiding eggs. So just now, I don't know how many she might have hidden if I'd left them alone altogether, but it looks like there's about 8 eggs under her. And she started brooding this morning. She stayed on the nest this morning. She didn't get up. She sat there. So 28 days-ish, I'm marking the calendar. So in 28 days, we should have some babies just after the 1st of March. So we should have some babies. Now, what that means for me is I have got to go through and secure the run. And I've got to consider how these chicks are going to get in and out of the coop, because, they're going to break their necks. I'm going to have to make a better ramp. I'm going to have to do something better for them to get out of the coop and down to the ground. It's a kind of a long story. There's a platform. There's a couple of steps down, but ducklings are not going to be able to maneuver that. So I'm going to have to create a way that those ducklings can get back up. And I also have to make sure that they can't get into the big water. And if they can get in the big water, that they can get out of the big water, because I don't want them drowned because they can't get out. So I've got about 4 weeks to get that all figured out on top of everything else that's going on around here. So I guess we'll know whether Dawn Drake, which is the name that and not Donald Duck Drake, it was Dawn Drake was the name that I gave the male duck that we've had here. And it's been years. I've had them for about 4 years. This is the first time I've known her to try to brood. The first time I've known her to try to brood. So, if you guys are sneaking in, be sure to hit the like and hit the subscribe if you don't already subscribe, and say hello. Say hello. Let me know that you stopped by. Just say, hey, can only stop for a minute, because I'm going to be off here shortly. I try to keep this right about an hour, and we're getting kind of close. But yeah, so it looks like we're going to have some ducklings here at the Holstein House BNB. That's going to be fun if they hatch. If they hatch. If they didn't, well, we tried it. So I did pick up a few starter plants yesterday. I got totally tired of waiting. I just am sick of waiting on this weather to cooperate. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and get them. We usually get our last frost around the 23rd. If we get a few more frosts, I can throw a sheet over them. I'm not worried, or some newspaper over them. I'm not worried. It'll be okay. I have got to get the plants. So I got some strawberries, a blueberry plant, some broccoli, some sweet peppers, a couple tomato plants just to get a heads up, early girls tomatoes, just to get a heads up on the season. And I got some flower stuff for the front porch. So I'm going to actually, if you saw the pictures I put up, and maybe I'll get those up. If you're not connected with me on if you're not connected with me on Telegram, it's t.me/Holstein House. Then also on NOSTR, I'll put the public key down below. I'm not sure if you can do an @ if you can do the @ sign in NOSTR, then it's at Robin Holstein. So I'm not sure if you can do that or not. Now, let me share this. Because I get a little. See this? You snap that. If you are into value for value, you snap that or you scan that, and you can tip me directly, or donate, or pay, or however you want to call it. Now, I posted that on Tuesday, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, that's not the right one. That's for you to pay somebody else." Well, no, that should be the right one. So if you see that and you scan that, you should be able to tip me with Satoshis, if you want to. You don't have to. But it's nice to be appreciated, even if it's 2 Satoshis at a time. That's one of the things that I've been doing over on NOSTR, is instead of liking, like the little heart symbol, I've been zapping, which is what they call it over there, zapping 2 Satoshis. So I'm figuring, I can afford 2 Satoshis for a lot of people. Now, some things get more, some things do get more, but at least 2 Satoshis. And then it's fun. It's really fun to watch them grow, watch the amount of them grow. And and using the Lightning Network, it just happens so quickly. And the only other thing I'm going to go over, because we're just about out of time, I do want to talk a little bit about Fountain FM, because I saw something today that kind of concerned me. It's the first time I've seen this actually said. And oh, darn it, there was a comment made that Fountain is not returning. Fountain FM has not been returning to this particular person the revenue to justify paying the subscription. So the subscription isn't that much, but folks get in and they want to I say make their money back, and it is money, but it's not money. It's people are in there in the value for value exchange. And the idea is that you're sharing, that I say something that you agree with. So you send Satoshis to acknowledge that. And in the collection of the Satoshis, it's going to cover the fiat costs of the subscription. If you pay for the subscription plan, then I saw the first time I saw it was on NOSTR, and it was that Fountain might be losing its favor, not going away as in they're going to close it or anything, but that it's becoming a little more irrelevant now that there's other options. I don't know. This was a conversation I'd hoped to have with other people. And I'm not ready to call it a dead. People say Float. They compare things to Float because Float went down in a flame, I guess. I was never on it. But NOSTR is the popular thing right now. It's the new favorite technology child, I guess you could call it, of the geek world. And it's taken off like wildfire. And so does that mean, is that a death knell for Fountain FM? I don't think so, but they may have to reconsider their business plan. They may have to reconsider how their subscription plans work. Because it's taken off. I'm seeing people do really great things over on NOSTR. And it could well be that there's a leveling off, who knows? I'm also going to do another poll. Oh, I'm just over an hour. I'm also going to do another poll to see what people's favorite video streaming is, because I kind of want to be where the people are, where my people are. But it'll take a little while. It'll take a little while to get everything worked out. I swear this does not look right. I make changes in documents, and it's like the document, it doesn't update when I do that, because there were notes that I swear I had down here that I don't see. But I'm going to start closing it off. The only other thing that I was going to talk about, and really it was just more kind of a statement, was my my certified lay minister classes actually kicked off on Tuesday. A month ago, we had a Tuesday meeting, and that was kind of an introductory class, and this was the actual class. And we held it over Zoom. I despise Zoom. I so hate Zoom. People do not understand how to use it, even in 2023. And you can be the nicest person on the planet, but if you don't mute yourself when we're having a Zoom meeting and I have to listen to you chew your food, belch, blow your nose, If I have to look up your nose all the time because you're looking down like this all the time, adjust your monitor, put it on some books or something, get it up there where you can see it, and mute your stupid. And I don't need to see you walking around the room. I've got restless leg issues, and a lot of times on these classes, because they go for 3 hours or more, I'll kick my video off. I have an avatar up. I have an image up of myself and my and Tori and Damien, and that's what you're looking at when I have to move around because I'm kicking the live feed off, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to stretch. I don't want to see you do this. I get so frustrated that I shut my video off. I shut my audio, my microphone off, and I'm sitting there shouting at my screen, will you please mute yourself? Or will the instructor please mute everyone? That's the better thing. Mute everyone. And make people wave their hand or something if they don't know how to unmute themselves long enough to make a comment. I don't want to hear your dogs barking. This is not a fun chat like you might have using StreamYard. If you have 4 or 5 people, you have somebody you're interviewing or whatever, and you're talking back and forth, and this is a class. I need to hear what's going on. I need to not be distracted by, your husband breaking wind in the background. I just don't need that. I don't need that. And it's so frustrating. Zoom is so frustrating for me. It just drives me crazy. I just wish they wouldn't use it, but it's their choice. It's not mine. And I'm going to have to do this once a month for the next 10 months to pass their required certification for certified lay minister so that I can really just kind of do one more step up than what I'm doing now, and try to help, and just try to help. But there's sometimes you think, why don't my credentials from over here translate over here? Especially when it's a training and not necessarily like a discipline. So if it's the basics, how to lead a prayer, how to lead a service, synergy. I mean, for heaven's sakes, this is one of the books, Synergy. Do you know how old Synergy is? I was reading Synergy books in the 90s. That just wears me out. But anyhow, I may be able to complete the course and then not be fit for the position after all. But I'm gonna wind it down now. I think that's it for today. I'm a little over an hour. I'll clip a little bit off of the beginning. It'll be okay. But so regardless of how you got here, whether you're seeing this video because you saw my post on a Telegram group, whether you saw it on a NOSTR post through Snort or Damus or whoever, whether you see it out in the wild, whether you see it, sometimes I still post to Twitter. I kind of haven't really posted there much, or my YouTube page or anything. Please subscribe, the thumbs up, the like, whichever platform you're in to show that you like it. If you are listening to the podcast, if you will, offer a tip, Satoshi tip, or anything of that, share it around, please. Share it around. It's hard to organically reach people in today's world with these things when there's so many different platforms and so many different options that it's just crazy to try to hit them all. I just can't do it. Look for me on Telegram. The Telegram group is t.me/Holstein House. And, I welcome you over there to learn more about some of the things that we do. There's also, I do also have the Holstein House. Well, obviously the YouTube channel. I have Holstein House on Rumble. We're on all of the major platforms. Instagram is actually under my name because, well, dummy me, that's what I did in the beginning, and I just left it there. I have books on Amazon under Robin A. Holstein because there's other Robin Holsteins with books out there. I have robinholstein.com, my website. That's how you direct book my BNB. just lots of ways to connect. So I'm going to go now, and I thank you very much for you guys. Be sure and say hello, and I will see you again on Tuesday at 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Listen to me like I don't even know. Tuesday, 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Daylight Time, and I will see you then. Bye-bye. So there you have it. Post your comments, do all that boosting, liking, sharing, thumbs up, and stuff that helps spread the word and poke the algorithms. Follow me on most of the big social media platforms and look for my name, Robin Holstein, or Holstein House. Till next time, bye-bye.